So in this video, we're going to be reviewing a new type of solving an equation. We're going to be looking at these problems, and when we look at the problems, we're going to be seeing a constant in the numerator, and then we'll also see a denominator. Okay, we're going to be seeing a constant up top in a numerator, and then we also see a denominator down below. Now, real quick, this problem is not in your notes or anything. I just want to ask you guys, if I said there's some number out there, this blue circle, okay? This blue circle gets divided by 2, and it's a 5. And I want to know what number is the blue circle. Well, anytime you guys see a denominator, you know that to solve, you're supposed to multiply by that denominator. So we know that this blue circle that I have here, this blue circle equals 10. It has the value of 10. Okay? So anytime we see a denominator, we multiply to get rid of a denominator. Now this blue circle, I'm going to take it one step further and say, if I want the blue circle to be 10, what number plus 4 would give me 10? Now you guys know that 6 plus 4 gives me 10. So if I were to break it down like this and say the blue circle divided by 2 should be 5, that means the blue circle is 10. But if I took it one step further, like I said, and said in the blue circle, I want to know what plus 4 would give me 10, you would tell me that the answer is 6. Now, why am I going through all of this? Because over here, in this problem right here, we have some number plus 4. I don't know what its answer is, but I'm going to make this one the blue circle now. This thing right here gets divided by 2, and it's going to be a 5. So anytime your constant is in the numerator like this, y'all, your first step is to multiply by 2, or whatever you see for the denominator. And now that's where I get this 10. And notice the thing that I bring down isn't a blue circle, it's what was under the blue circle, which is the x plus 4. And now if I know I have a constant of a positive 4, I'm just going to subtract 4 on both sides, and my unknown must have been a 6. So to check, again, 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so we know we're good to go. Now for this problem, again, what do you see? You see a constant, b minus 3, and then you see a denominator. So anytime your constant is up top like this, your first step is to multiply both sides by the denominator, and that's where I get this 9. This cancels out, and b minus 3 is what I'm bringing down in my work, the b minus the 3 that you see here. Now again, I drop my line so I can focus on this side. My variable is over here, and since I see a negative constant, I'm going to add the 3 to both sides, and this cancels out, and 9 plus 3 is 12. So I just solved for b. b is 12. Now to check, up here, we would do a 12 minus 3 in the numerator, and then we're going to divide that by a 9. Well, 12 minus 3 is 9, and 9 divided by 9 is 1. So we know we're good. All right, and now for the last one. Something out there plus 8 gives me this top part. And then that top part, if I divide it by a negative 2, I get negative 3. So anytime I see a denominator, I'm going to multiply by the negative 2. And negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. This cancels out, and now x plus 8 gives me a 6. When I drop my line, I can see that my variable is over here. The number by itself is a positive 8, so I'm going to take away 8. 6 minus 8 is where I get my negative 2. So x is a negative 2. Now to check, I'm going to plug it in right here. I'm going to say negative 2 plus 8. That numerator is now going to get divided by the negative 2. This top part is a 6, and 6 divided by negative 2 is in fact the negative 3, so we must be good to go. All right, so here I have 3 more problems modeled for you. Something plus 1, if I divide that answer by the negative 2, I get negative 6. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator, so times the negative 2 and times the negative 2, that cancels out. So this is what's left over. I bring down my c plus 1. And over here, the negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. Now when I drop my line, my variable is on this side. So I'm going to do the opposite of my constant. So I'm going to take away 1 from both sides, and I'm going to get 11. And if you think about it, 11 plus 1 up here, if we plug it into check, 11 plus 1 is 12. And 12 divided by the negative 2 is a negative 6, so we're good. All right, something out there, if we take away 3 and then divide by 4, we'd be at 1. So if we do the opposite of dividing by 4, we're going to times the 4. Cancels out over here, and I just have a minus 3. And 1 times 4 is where I get this 4. Now again, when I drop my line, I see a negative constant right here, so I'm going to add 3 on both sides. 4 plus 3 is 7, so I have now solved and gotten that a is 7. To check, 7 minus 3 is a 4. 4 divided by 4 is in fact a 1, so we are set. Now this problem is starred. I want this problem to kind of stand out to you guys here. Where is the constant in this problem, y'all? You see how the number all by itself is truly all by itself, and now we're back to having a denominator straight up under the letter. So again, let me erase the problem, all this stuff right next to it. I want you guys to see the difference between these two side by side. Notice that in this problem, my constant is up top with a. So my constant is a part of the numerator, and then I have a denominator down here. This problem, my constant is truly alone, and my denominator is right under the letter only. So the one that's last right here, this is one that you would have already learned how to do earlier in your packet. When you guys drop this line and see that you have a denominator and a constant, the first thing we did was to add the 3 on both sides here. Now you have something divided by 4 gives you 4. Now is when you multiply in these problems, and this cancels out and we get a 16. So the math here says to do the 16 divided by the 4 and get 4. Now take away 3 and you're at 1. Previously, we have a minus 3, then divide that by 4 and you'd be at 1. So if we didn't divide it by 4, we're going to undo by multiplying by 4 first. Now I still have this left right here, and then you're ready to continue solving the way that you know how to solve. So the trick is, moving forward, now that you have a denominator and a constant, the question is, where is the constant? Is the constant all the way by itself, like you're used to seeing, which has been the majority of your packet so far? Or is the constant now up here in the numerator, which is basically this new page? So this page kind of explored the new type of problem, but I also, like I said, I wanted to have an old type of problem right here that you knew how to do. This whole entire unit is just about what you're looking at, and based on what you're looking at, do you know what to do? All right, so if you see a constant in the numerator, and then you also have a denominator, which is what this whole page is about, y'all. When you see a constant in the numerator, and then you also have a denominator, here's what you do. First step, you multiply both sides by the denominator. Then you do the inverse or the opposite of the constant. Okay? So if you see, again, a constant in the numerator, which is a constant in the numerator, and then you also have a denominator, let's follow our steps. First, we're going to multiply both sides by the denominator. So here, my denominator is a 4. So I'm going to multiply by 4 and multiply by 4. Now I bring x plus 2 down, and 3 times 4 is 12. At this point, I'm ready to just simply subtract the 2 on both sides, and we have now solved for x, which is 10. To check, we're going to plug it in right here and say, okay, if I have 10 plus 2 and divide that answer by 4, all right, well, that'd be a 12 divided by 4, which is a 3, and that is exactly what we said it should be, so we know we're good to go. We got the same answer. All right, so once again, if you look at a problem and you see a constant in your numerator, and then you also have a denominator, the first step is to multiply both sides by the denominator. That's where I get my negative 5 over here. This cancels out, and now I bring down the x minus 2. Now when I drop my line, my variable is on this side. I have a negative constant, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. This cancels out right here. And if you have a -5 for 5 feet underwater and you come up 2 feet, you're still underwater, but you're only 3 feet underwater. So this one's a -3. Careful, some people there attempted to put a -7. Now I'd want to end this video just making sure you understand the difference. If you see a denominator and then the constant is over here by itself, this is a different type of problem. This is previously learned in your packet. Let's say this is the problem you're looking at. If you see a constant by itself and then a denominator, this is the math for this one. When you see this, you do the constant first. And then you multiply by the denominator. And then here, we'd get a 10. So try not to mix up if the constant's by itself and then you see a denominator versus this whole video and page when you have the constant up top with a numerator and then you have a denominator. And that concludes this video. Thank you for watching.